Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Essential Album video. This week we're taking a look at Get the Money by Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders. First released November 8th, 2019. Some notable tracks on this album include Cross the Line, Middle Child, Don't Look at Me That Way, and Get the Money. This is the third and unfortunately final studio album from Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders. I actually own this one on vinyl here. I picked this up, I want to say, a couple years ago, maybe. But this one is actually fairly easy to find. A lot of his other solo or stuff with the Coattail Riders is actually kind of difficult to get, at least physically. So yeah, picked this up, I want to say, again, a couple years ago. And I think this is actually the first studio album I had listened to from this group. And I want to say the first time I listened to it was maybe 2022, I think, because I was on a trip to LA. Would have been in like May of 2022, so just a couple months after Taylor had passed away, and was just kind of going through, listening to a lot of Foo Fighter stuff, a lot of stuff from artists that he had worked with before, like Alanis Morissette, and then as well, some of his solo stuff. And this was the first. Again, the first studio album I listened to by Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders. Last year on the new album series, I covered Red Light Fever. So that was a new album to me at the time. Really like that one. And I know they released another album prior to that one. So it's basically, I think, the way the chronology of those albums are. It's Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders, then Red Light Fever, and then Get the Money. Out of all three of those albums, I've only heard two of those three. I've listened to Red Light Fever and, of course, this one. The first album, I don't think is available like digitally. Like, I've tried to find it streaming. I don't think it's available. I actually do have it on order. I found a copy of it on Discogs. So I picked that up. I haven't got it in the mail yet, but once I get that album, I may do a video about that album as well. But yeah, that one is still coming. And then, but you can easily stream Get the Money and Red Light Fever. Their first one, which I think is just self-titled, isn't really, like I said, I couldn't find it on any kind of streaming service. However, also, it's somewhat difficult to find a lot of the other stuff physically, or it's a little bit more on the rare side. Not super rare, but just a little bit more expensive than like a normal CD. Anyway. So again, we own this one physically. I really like the artwork on this as well. That's just them chilling in the hot tub. Got a couple drinks in there. Some looks like money just floating in the hot tub there. And then you got the plane flying the Get the Money banner there with the hawk, of course. Let me get to our notes here about this album. Pull it up. There we go. Like we said, it first released November 8th, 2019. Reason I'm doing this video now is I recently came back from my second trip from Laguna Beach. I went there last year celebrating with a bunch of friends what would have been Taylor Hawkins' 52nd birthday. This year would have been Taylor's 53rd birthday. So last year we got together, met up at the mural kind of near downtown Laguna Beach. That mural unfortunately got removed. But there is another mural that we also visited last year that is behind the surf shop. That one's still there, so that's where we ended up meeting up this year. We put a few like photos up there on the wall around the Hawk mural and some other kind of like mementos and things like that. And then we went to the beach for a drum circle. I've never done a drum circle before, but it was a lot of fun. It was just really good vibes around like a fire pit, just playing music that Taylor had worked on, and, like from like Foo Fighter stuff, obviously stuff from the Coattail Riders, some solo stuff like off of some various EPs he's put out. So we just had a Bluetooth speaker playing that, and we were just kind of drumming along with like little like drums and things like that. It was a lot of fun, and I look forward to doing that again in the future. But kind of the reason behind doing this album was to kind of just tie this into that. So that was a really just cool experience. There is a lot of really interesting personnel on this record, so this is kind of got a lot of Taylor's like friends and other like kind of what's the word I'm looking for, colleagues on it and things like that. So I think basically the notable members of the band as the Coattail Riders are obviously Taylor Hawkins, and then you have bring up the list of personnel here. You have Brent Woods and Chris Chaney. So Chris Chaney, obviously touring bassist for Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill tour when that was originally happening. Um, Basically, kind of I think that's kind of where Taylor and him kind of first started, like first met basically. There was the Alanis Morissette Jagged documentary on HBO that you can check out where they all get interviewed, and I think like Taylor was talking about just hanging out with him. Brent Woods, also part of Chevy Metal, which was Taylor Hawkins' um, like just kind of cover band. I don't think they did any kind of recorded releases. They would just play like various shows and things like that and do covers. And now Shane Hawkins, Taylor's son, kind of runs the band. And I saw them last year, and it was really just an incredible experience seeing that band. So basically, this band again consists of Taylor, Chris Chaney, and Brent Woods. So that is the main kind of members of the band. But there's just a bunch of other performers on this record. So you have obviously you have Dave Grohl showing up. You have John Lustow, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. John Davison, Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses, Nancy Wilson, obviously from Heart. You have Perry Farrell from Jane's Addiction and Portal for Pyros. Mark King is also on this record. Sylvia Massey, Joe Walsh from the Eagles and James Gang, Chrissy Hynde from the Pretenders. You have Leanne Rimes, who I think was a neighbor of Taylor's at some point. You have Oliver Rubin, Roger Taylor pops up on this record as well, obviously from Queen fame. Gannon Arnold, Pat Schmier from obviously Nirvana and the Foo Fighters, and Steve Jones. So just a big collection of kind of Taylor's like collaborators and friends and colleagues showing up on this record to do various bits and pieces on it as well. Now we're going to move into our track listing here. So the album comes in at about 40 minutes and 18 seconds and includes 10 tracks. Track 1 is Cross the Line. Track 2 is Don't Look at Me That Way. Track 3 is You're No Good at Life No More. Track 4 is I Really Blew It. Track 5 is Queen of the Clowns. Track 6 is Get the Money. Track 7 is See You in Hell. Track 8 is Middle Child. Track 9 is Kiss the Ring. And track 10 is Shades of Things, which is covered by the Yardbirds. If I had to pick my favorite tracks on the album, I'm probably going to say I really like Middle Child. I'm probably going to say Middle Child, Cross the Line, and I Really Blew It are probably my favorite tracks on the album. Again, this is probably the easiest one to obtain, at least for the moment, on either CD or vinyl. I don't own it on CD yet, but I'm probably considering going to pick it up so I can just easily digitize it at some point. But again, this is their Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders' third and, like I said, unfortunately, final studio album. But it's a good album. He did a lot of really good, just kind of side work and like side projects during his time with the Foo Fighters, and the Coattail Riders and Chevy Metal are among the top of those kind of things. But that is going to do it for this video. We'll be back again in a week with a whole new album. Don't know exactly what that whole new essential album, I should say. Won't necessarily be new. But we'll be back at that in a week. No idea what that album's going to be just yet. And then I'm getting stuff finalized for the 2024 kind of wrap-up. I think it's going to just be like a mini-series where I just discuss all the music I listened to last year. We'll probably just go through the list of everything I listened to, and then I have like some spreadsheets that I can make graphs from showing like various genres and decades and all that kind of stuff. Kind of like we did at the end of the previous series. But that's going to do it for now. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one. See ya.